So last week I finished this anime called Love of Kill, and it's about these two main characters named Ryong Hason and Chateau Dankworth. The two meet in a parking garage where there's a little shootout, and Ryong Hason is killing all the other shooters, and Chateau, who is a bounty hunter, is trying to apprehend him. She shoots at him, he dodges while running at her. Of course he dodges because it's anime and nothing's really normal in anime. Tackles her to the ground, takes a photo of her with his phone, saves it, gets her number. Then after that he starts following her, texting her, showing his interest in her, which is pretty creepy, but not the type of creepy where he's like watching her when she sleeps and takes a locket of her hair and puts it in a jar or whatever, and has like 1,000 pictures of her on his wall or whatever. So he's following her around. He even forces her to go on a date with him on Christmas Eve. He ordered this prostitute and killed this prostitute's pimp or owner, whatever it is, held her hostage, and he let Chateau know about it, so she had no choice. But while he's watching over her, he's also trying to protect her from any danger that she faces. Some assassins that shows up from Ryong Hason's past and that has a problem with him starts to go after him and her. But Chateau doesn't really push him away because he is familiar to her, because she does not remember anything about her past, or rarely remembers anything about her past. As the show goes on, you find out that Ryong Hason's name, his actual name, he took it because this guy named Donnie, who takes in children that are damaged, basically turns them into cold-blooded killers. Donnie meets this kid who is actually named Ryong Hason, and he actually ends up running into the fake Ryong Hason when they were children, if I didn't mention that. He ends up saving Ryong Hason. Okay, the actual Ryong Hason ends up saving the fake Ryong Hason when they were children, and the fake Ryong Hason has nowhere to go, and the real Ryong Hason, so he takes him in. They end up finding Chateau at this bus station, so they bring her along, and I'm trying not to like give away too much, but my channel has like 0 subscribers and 0 views, so who cares? The fake Ryong Hason ends up leaving because the real Ryong Hason isn't really too comfortable with him being around, because he starts freaking him out, and the fake Ryong Hason ends up leaving the cabin, which is where they went to go rest and to chill out. Chateau was sleeping. She wakes up, she finds a gun, hides in a closet because she's scared and she thinks that someone is probably after her. The real Ryong Hason opens the door, she shoots him in the neck. Sorry. He puts her in the car, he drives for like a day. The police eventually find them, and that's really why Ryong Hason starts following her around, because he recognized her and he eventually wanted to let her know who he was and what happened to her in her past. So it's a show, good to watch. I think it's good to watch. It's a decent show. Visually, the animations and the artwork of the show is pretty good, pretty beautiful. The background is beautiful. The characters look kind of shiny, but that's anime for you. Almost everyone looks pretty and colorful. If you're expecting some badass action scenes and some badass action fighting, don't get your hopes up too much. There is some fighting in the show, but it's actually kind of normal. I mean, yes, there are some people who will dodge bullets and throw knives at each other, but it's pretty normal, and you won't really get a whole lot of action. As far as the characters go, Ryong Hason, he can be vicious and mean, but also has like a little sense of humor, which is what the show brings. That's another thing that the show brings. It brings some comedy to it. It's not always serious. Chateau is pretty quiet, kind of laid back. Well, I don't know if I'd say laid back, but sort of standoffish, and that's due to her past and her not knowing who she is completely. Her boss is kind of a pushover, and then there's this other guy who has no mouth. That's never really explained in season 1. The enemies of the show, the first enemy that shows up is from Ryong Hason's past, who he used to work for this organization. He killed his boss, and the guy that comes after him was his former employee or coworker. He actually had a special relationship with his boss. His boss kind of saved him and brought him off the streets because he was doing a bunch of drugs and stuff. But he kind of sucked though. He didn't really play too much of a big role as I thought he would. But these other characters, Donnie and his group of assassins, these kids, this one kid who was blonde, he's out of his mind, but he's very skillful for his age. They're all pretty skillful. The blonde kid has a sister. I can't say too much about her, but she's out of her mind too. Everyone is basically just crazy and insane. Yeah, so season 1, I give it a thumbs up. It's not a bad show. I do think that there will be a season 2, and they left a lot on the table. There's a lot of things that I think the viewer would like to know. Like, for example, know more about the enemies, what's going to happen between Chateau and Ryung Ha-sung, now that they've come together. There's just so much left on the table. I think that's the cliffhanger that they wanted the viewer to come away from, wanting more and see where the story goes. So all in all, like I said, I give Love of Kill a thumbs up. It's not a bad show. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for when I drop a new video. And that is it. My name is Life Sucks. I am out.